Delta 46, runway 13, clear for takeoff.
13 clear for takeoff, Delta 846.
Coming up in this video, I'm going to take you with me on a rare departure out of LaGuardia Airport, and you'll see why I chose a seat on the left side of the plane. Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm in New York City this evening, and tomorrow I've got a flight out of LaGuardia Airport. I've strategically chosen a seat on the left-hand side of the airplane for the best view, and you're coming along with me. Now, you know that very often I talk about checking the direction of the wind before making your seat selection. Even though my flight is tomorrow, I looked at the forecast, and based upon the wind, I'll be departing on runway 13. So how do I know that runway 13 is going to be my departure runway tomorrow? Well, I checked the wind for my time of departure, and the wind will be coming from 180 degrees or due south. That makes it favorable for the use of runways 22 and runway 13. Runway 22 is almost never used as a departure runway, so I'm guessing that we'll be taking off on runway 13. But before I head to the airport, there's something that I want to let you know about. I will never ever leave my house without my Exter Parliament wallet, an absolutely fantastic wallet. Exter provides this fantastic product made of premium leather, and it's environmentally certified. What I love about this wallet is that it's compact, but it can hold up to 12 cards. It's literally half the size of a traditional wallet, but I'm still able to get all of my cards as well as cash into it. The wallet itself is absolutely beautiful. You've got some great stitching on the outside, which makes it elegant, and if you open up, you can see that there's a special place to put cash, as well as additional areas to put your business cards. This is the best wallet that I've ever owned. I travel a lot, and I carry phones and keys with me, and this wallet helps reduce bulk in my pocket. It is totally worthwhile. And now until June 20th, you can get 35% off an Exter product by clicking on the link below and entering code MASELLA. That's MASELLA. Okay, it's next day. I'm all ready. Let's head over to the airport. I'm headed to LaGuardia Airport, and I'll be making the most out of my experience today. While to many frequent flyers, this may seem like a routine journey to Atlanta, I've got something great to look forward to, as I'm going to fly a climb out that I've never flown before, no matter how many times I've taken off at LaGuardia. So let's head on into Terminal C at the Great LaGuardia Airport so I can get closer to being airborne. Okay, I made it to the terminal here at LaGuardia. Let's check in. Okay, I've got a couple of bags to check. I'm gonna drop them off and then head on over to TSA. I love this special area for Sky Priority customers where I dropped off my bags with the agent instead of using the self-tagged bag lines. It's nice to have interaction with staff. But my mind is thinking forward because I can't wait for that runway 13 departure. Just think that this will be my view very soon this afternoon. Okay, I'm one level up and I'm ready to go to TSA. I'm now airside, and I'll wait in my usual waiting spot, the Delta Sky Club, one level up. If you have access, this is the best place to do some plane spotting, and right now I'm on the lookout for one particular plane that just arrived. Right there is the A321 that'll be taking me down to Atlanta. Right now the ramp is blocked. We're just waiting for an aircraft to clear the ramp, and that aircraft will then go to the gate. Okay, this 4-year-old airplane is now cleared in by ramp control after waiting a few minutes on the taxiway. This is the side of the airplane I'll be sitting on. It's always nice to see my window from the outside. Soon, I'll be in the cabin looking out. So why, as I mentioned in the beginning, did I choose a seat on the left side of the plane? The view. With a tennis climb and radar vectors to Lana intersection, the left side of the plane will provide great LaGuardia and Manhattan views. We'll also have some wonderful views of the terminal as we taxi out to runway 13 today. Specifically, I'll be in seat 32A today. My window is midway between the last door and the door just after the wing. With a main cabin ticket purchased, I actually decline any upgrades to Comfort Plus or First Class despite my Diamond status eligibility. I just want to be guaranteed a window seat. I just can't wait to be out there in the mix of LaGuardia traffic today. So come with me to the gate level. All right, I'm headed over to the gate. It's that A321 over there that's going to take us to Lana. Lana is our initial departure fix located in Hunterdon County, New Jersey. After takeoff, the controller will provide radar vectors toward this fix. It's the typical fix for flights headed out of the New York City area to Atlanta, like my flight today, Delta 846. Let's head on over to the ATL. 32 Alpha is my seat today. As nice as this light blue interior is, something is missing. The window shade's not up, so I'm going to open it right now. Now we're talking. I also opened up the window that's behind me. Technically, it's really the window for the other person's seat, so I hope they don't lower it when they get here. And that one over there is not mine, but it would be nice if whoever sits there raises the window shade because I can see out a little bit from here. Here's the view out my window. It's a great vantage point behind the wing, and wait, oh wow, I have some great news to report to you. The person in 31 Alpha opened their window shade. This broadens my viewpoint. I'm happy. As the ground crew prepares the aircraft for pushback, I'll take the time to explain the star of today's performance, the tennis climb. This climb out is an RNAV procedure and calls for flights to fly runway heading after takeoff, then turn left to 50 degrees, then at a fix called Jutes, fly a heading of 39 degrees to tennis, then fly heading 45. This is a rare climb out because most of the time, aircraft departing on runway 13 turn right to the south, then either turn left, right, or continue to the south, depending on where they're going. But with the tennis climb, all aircraft fly the same route. This satellite-based RNAV procedure is very similar to the Flushing climb off of runway 13, where aircraft fly runway heading until 2 miles away from the LaGuardia VOR, a navigational aid near the runway 22 pier. At that point, they turn left to a heading of 50 degrees. The RNAV procedure, the tennis climb, is more precise than the Flushing climb. Unlike the Whitestone climb, which eventually turns aircraft to the north, there's no initial turn to the south. This keeps the left turn to the north tighter, keeping aircraft closer to LaGuardia and further away from JFK Airport. Just to the east of LaGuardia is airspace that JFK uses for arrivals to runway 22 left and 22 right, and this procedure keeps us further west of these arrivals than a longer climb such as the Whitestone climb. Notice how the climb is called the tennis climb. This references the sport of tennis, of course, and just south of LaGuardia is the location of the US Open. When tennis games are in effect, this climb is designed to keep aircraft from flying over the stadium like they normally would on the Whitestone climb. By the way, there was a Mets game occurring at Citi Field at the time of my departure, and the tennis climb will keep us slightly north of the stadium rather than fly right over it on the Whitestone climb. While I've been talking, we've pushed back onto the ramp at Terminal C, and we'll be contacting ground control for taxi clearance soon. Here's a close-up of part of the fuselage of another A321 where I'm seated. With the tug removed, it's now time for our pilot to contact LaGuardia ground control for our clearance to taxi to runway 31 from lane number 15 where we are now.
Ground Delta 846, lane 15, taxi with for Golf.
The outbound calling, say again.
Delta 846, we're at 15 short of Alpha, taxi with for Golf.
Delta 846, runway 13, taxi via November, join Bravo behind the company 321.
13 via November, join Bravo behind the company 321, Delta 846.
Delta 846, hold short of double golf on Bravo.
Hold short of double golf on Bravo, Delta 846.
In a moment, we'll see another Delta A321, and we were told to take taxiways November and Bravo and go behind the company, or Delta A321. But while on taxiway Bravo, we'll need to hold short of taxiway Double Golf. The reason why we're following that Delta A321 is because it's also taxiing for takeoff on runway 13, and sometimes it just makes sense for the controller to have an aircraft follow another aircraft if they're going to the same place. But that flight is headed down to Orlando, and even though it will fly the tennis climb, the controller will provide radar vectors for that flight to White, a departure fix for flights to the south. My seat, on the left side of this plane, will provide me with a view of the rest of Terminal C and all of Terminal B today. I'll speed up this part of the taxi. The next instruction we'll receive from ground control will be to hold short of runway 22, the landing runway at taxiway Papa, and follow that company airplane that we've been following.
Delta 846, hold short of runway 22 at Papa, follow company all the way.
Hold short of 22 at Papa, follow company Delta 846.
Delta 846, hold Delta 846 is verified, hold short of runway 22 at Papa.
Delta 846, hold short 22 at Papa. We'll follow company.
Thanks. 1981, LaGuardia ground taxi. Bravo.
Again, I'll speed up this part until the next transmission. The next transmission will be to cross runway 22 to get to the other side so we can approach the beginning of runway 13. The ground controller will tell us to cross runway 22 once an arriving flight crosses in front of us, and in this case, as you hear the controller tell us to cross runway 22, you'll see an American Embraer pass in front of us. We're also told to move without delay, as there's another plane on a 2-mile final for runway 22.
Delta 846, cross runway 22 at Papa, traffic 2-mile final, no delay, all the way up.
Delta 846, cross 22 at Papa. We'll come.
Delta 1487 at Juliet, get rid of American Virtual. Frequency 4463, Juliet, Bravo, Papa, open runway 22. Juliet, Bravo, Papa, show us.
Ground break 5601, 886, runway block, 5 minutes delay, expect flight 17. 4781 on Bravo.
Frequency 4781, taxi, Bravo, at 1255.
Bravo, Bravo.
Delta 846, monitor tower, Gulf is current.
Delta 846, switch tower. Good day.
We were just told to monitor the tower frequency where we will listen in to get permission to enter the runway.
Delta 846, LaGuardia Tower, 13 on employee traffic 2 altitude.
13 lines and wait, Delta 846.
Those are the words I've been waiting to hear. Line up and wait. The Delta A321 ahead of us was just issued takeoff clearance, so we can now enter runway 13, line up with it, and wait. And from what the controller said, it looks like we have to wait about a minute or so for takeoff clearance because he said traffic is 2 miles out. That means 2 miles out to runway 22, which intersects with our runway. While seated on the left side of the plane, I have a perfect view of the final approach course to runway 22, so I'm all eyes looking out for the landing traffic that we're waiting for. That plane is an Endeavour Air CRJ 900 coming in from Charlotte. I can see that CRJ 900 just behind the winglet of our aircraft right now. That plane is over the approach lights, and in one moment it will be on the ground here at LaGuardia Airport. When one plane comes, another one goes, so as soon as that airplane touches down, we'll get takeoff clearance.
Delta 1286, contact New York.
Departure, Sierra Delta 5.
Delta 846, runway 13, clear for takeoff.
13 clear for takeoff, Delta 846.
We've got 7,000 feet of runway to take off on, so we'll be accelerating quickly. As we take off on runway 13, the controller keeps in mind additional traffic to runway 22. The next departure off of runway 13 won't be able to get takeoff clearance until the next plane lands, and that won't be until after we become airborne. While we speed up, I always like to take a look into the airspace over the Bronx to see how many planes I can see coming into runway 22. I love the action at this airport. But for now, my focus is on the tennis climb. Like taking off on runway 31 left at JFK and turning left, it's ingrained in my mind that taking off on runway 13 at LaGuardia calls for a right-hand turn after takeoff, but that's not going to happen today. As soon as we lift off, we'll fly straight out, avoiding flying over the tennis stadium in Flushing Meadows Corona Park, an area with few homes. However, residents of Flushing will definitely hear our engines roar as we climb at a low altitude over a very densely populated area. The first few seconds of being airborne are over water, but Queens is a bustling place. In the distance, we can see the Whitestone and Throgs Neck bridges. Those bridges lead to the Bronx. We'll be flying over the Bronx at a somewhat lower altitude than we normally would have flown over down the Whitestone climb because we're not turning to the right. In the meantime, the tower controller is going to tell us to contact the departure controller now.
846, contact departure.
846 switching.
As we switch to departure control, we start a left turn to 50 degrees to Jutes. Let's check in with New York departure.
Departure Delta 846 passing 1900, 10 and 6.
Delta 846, radar contact, climb maintain 12,000.
Continue up to 12,000, Delta 846.
We let the controller know that we were flying the Tennis 6 departure procedure, and we were told to climb to 12,000 feet. By the way, tennis is actually spelled T-N-N-I-S, but pronounced tennis like the sport. I'm really enjoying the view of Whitestone and northeastern Queens. You just don't get views this close up while on the curvy Whitestone climb. Our turn to 50 degrees brings us to the northeast out over Long Island Sound, and that brings even more things into sight as we can now see how the East River works its way past LaGuardia toward Manhattan. We need to work our way in the direction we're looking at, and it'll come soon, but we need to continue flying the tennis climb for a bit longer. We need to gain some more altitude before we turn. One reason why I'm seated on the left side of this plane is the view of LaGuardia Airport. Although we're not as close to it as we would be if we flew the Whitestone climb, I always find it satisfying to see the runway and airport that we just took off from. We're now flying by the Throgs Neck Bridge, a suspension bridge opened in 1961 connecting the Bronx and Queens. While over the Sound, the wing dips slightly to the left, precisely 11 degrees, to a heading of 39 degrees to the fix that this procedure is named after, tennis. These small turns help keep us exactly where we need to be so we don't conflict with other traffic, keeping us a safe distance from flights to JFK. There's another fix to the northeast after tennis, but we'll need to head to Lana over New Jersey, so it's now time for the departure controller to turn us to the west 280 degrees.
Delta 846, turn left heading 280.
Left heading 280, Delta 846.
This turn begins over the north shore of Long Island, and down below we see two islands in the Sound, City Island and Hart Island. City Island is a residential nautical community in the Bronx, and the smaller Hart Island is used as a final resting place for those that were unknown. Beyond the borough of the Bronx, the straight line in the distance is the Hudson River, and beyond that is the state of New Jersey, which is where we need to be because that's where Lana is. We can also see the skyscrapers of Manhattan, another reason to be on this side of the plane, and of course we'll have LaGuardia in sight for a while as we turn. For passengers on the other side of the plane, since takeoff, they have had good views of the eastern part of Queens, Nassau County, and once the turn is complete, all of Westchester County, just north of the Bronx. I love wide turns over bodies of waters and cities, and I'm happy I chose this side. We have gained considerable altitude as we climb to our assigned altitude of 12,000 feet, and we're more than sufficiently high enough to pass over the final approach course to runway 22, and I am all eyes as we pass over the extended center line of runway 22 as it extends out into the Bronx, just as the wings level off on the 280-degree heading. Not only am I looking at LaGuardia Airport, but I'm also looking down, specifically for aircraft that are within a 5-mile final to runway 22, and I was lucky to spot one flying over Interstate 95 on final to LaGuardia. There's so much to see out there in addition to the New York City views. And there's more to come regarding other airplanes, so keep watching. This 280-degree heading over the Bronx is perfect to provide an overview of all of New York City. From here we can see all 5 boroughs, the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, and way in the distance under the wing, Staten Island. It's a big city with a population of over 8.8 million people. That's more than double the amount of people than the second largest city in the USA, Los Angeles. We're approaching the end of the airspace of this controller, but because New York is so busy, there's a second departure controller that we need to check in. The time for a higher altitude and frequency is now.
Delta 846, maintain 15,000, contact 2085.
To 15,000, say again the frequency for Delta 846.
Delta 846, contact 2085.
20.85 and up to 15,000, Delta 846.
Cheers.
We'll check in with the second departure in a moment. We'll let the controller know our current altitude, 9,600 feet or 9.6, and that we're climbing to 15,000 feet. The controller will tell us to maintain 15,000 feet and to alas proceed to Lana, our initial departure fix over Everettstown, New Jersey. After Lana, we can proceed on course with our flight plan to the southwest.
Delta 846 checking in, passing 9.3 for 15,000 on the heading at 280.
Delta 846, New York departure direct to Lana, climb and maintain at 15,000.
Direct Lana up to 15,000, Delta 846.
As we turn towards Lana, let's take a moment to take in the beautiful views of something we've been waiting for, the skyscrapers of Manhattan. This is Newark Airport, another reason to sit on the left-hand side of the airplane, and Newark is landing on runway 22 left, and from up here I can see aircraft coming straight into the runway. Newark Liberty International Airport has two runways that are parallel to each other and parallel to runway 422 at LaGuardia, so they're labeled 4 right, 22 left, and 4 left, 22 right. There's also a crosswind runway, runway 1129. Today, runway 22 left, the runway closest to Interstate 95, is being used as the landing runway, and runway 22 right is being used as the departure runway. As we pass by Newark, we're told to climb higher.
Delta 846, climb and maintain 17,000.
Up to 17,000 Delta 846.
The runways down there are being controlled by the tower controller, and once departures become airborne, they contact a departure controller, just like the departure controller we spooked to when we took off, but there's a designated controller for Newark departure airspace. Down below, United 2206, a Boeing 767 bound for Houston is taking off. Once airborne, the plane checks in with the Newark departure controller, which we're about to listen into right now on that frequency.
Departure at 2206 Heavy with your passenger 745.
United 2206, New York departure radar contact.
And now the controller is going to tell this flight to turn right, which we can see all the way from up here.
United 2206 Heavy, turn right heading 280, climb and maintain 11,000.
280, 11,000, United 2206 Heavy.
280 is actually the same heading that we were assigned when we were told to turn to the west after departing from LaGuardia. Back on our frequency, it's time for us to leave the airspace of the second departure controller and be handed off to New York Center, the high-altitude air route traffic control center, now responsible for our flight as we work our way to Lana.
Delta 846, contact New York Center 134.6.
134.6, Delta 846.
It paid off. I'm so glad I chose a seat on the left-hand side of the plane today. Once we left the New York City area, we entered the clouds, and I really wasn't able to see that much, so I was really happy that I got to see what I wanted to see for takeoff today. Normally, we would have a great view of Philadelphia right now, but it is cloudy out there. My view looked like this for a lot of the flight, so I really didn't film much in the en route phase of flight. I'll fast forward it to the landing. Let's land at the world's busiest airport. Okay, we're here in Atlanta. Thanks so much for joining me today. All right, I'm in Atlanta. I'm glad to be here. What a great departure out of LaGuardia Airport. I really enjoyed that straight up departure off of runway 13. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I invite you to click on the subscribe button, hit the bell button, and rest assured, I'll be back with many more videos like this. Thanks everybody, and see you soon.